What's going on, everybody? We are back from the most intense game of Rocket League I think I have ever not only casted, but witnessed. And now we are here with some more action, as I believe we are moving on to take care of Team Bliss and just knock them out of the way real quick as we move on to the true Day 2. With me again is Alligator Saurus. Our voices aren't hoarse yet, so let's see what we got. Oh, there you go. All right, so what we got, Alligator?
So we have this matchup against Team Bliss in the lower bracket, round 1, another best of 5 series, but moving into technically the double elimination portion of the playoffs. But in this lower bracket part, it's considered as if we already have one loss. You only get the double elim if you're the top seed coming out of your groups. We talked about that a little bit at the beginning of the broadcast tonight. Somebody had crunched the math, and my apologies for not giving credit where credit is due, but taking the first seed in a group gives you like a 30-1 better odds of making it to the grand finals. But regardless, Collateral is here to fight through, and the opponent will be Team Bliss. As mentioned, they took second over in Group B with a 2-1 record. They beat Antic, who will be playing Ground Zero in just a moment as well. Beat Sussman, and then lost to Renegades. This one should be coming up in just a moment. The players are ready, and we've seen it all night long. They've been ready to rock, ready to roll, and as we speak, Game 1 of this best of 5, Team Bliss versus the folks you're here to see, Collateral Esports.
This time we've got Collateral hitting up on the orange side instead of blue, so that's going to be a little bit of retraining for my brain. I don't know about you. My brain's petty like that.
Should be pretty solid. The majority of teams getting a little bit of a breather as Group D taking a little bit longer to finish due to some technical issues, but everything got sorted out over there and gave us a little bit of time to get the heart rate back under control after that utterly bonkers Game 5 overtime. But, you know, that was last series. This is now, and Team Bliss will strike first in this matchup.
And there it is, quick strike ability within the first 45 seconds. We've got Bliss taking the attack over to Collateral, and you know, this is something we're kind of used to seeing from Collateral. Conceding early in Game 1 is just kind of what they do. I've learned not to worry about it, especially after last series. They have full ability to come back whenever they feel they need to. They just need to get their wheels underneath them, learn their opponents fast, and not only that, learn themselves fast, as Butters makes a very clutch save right there. Doesn't get credited with it, but definitely would have gone in without his intervention.
And opportunity Civics and a straight back for Collateral Esports, and a great bounce back, putting one on in the first 73 seconds of this series. A solid rotation up on that offensive end. Butters was run a little bit of interference on the goal line just to be sure nobody was in the vicinity. And Civic's shot finds the goal, and we find ourselves all tied up. Collateral on the board.
There we go. That's what we like to see, that 1-1 scoreline from Collateral. They love to hold that, and as I say they love to hold that, the caster cursed, the ghost drops down on the production here tonight, and proves me a little bit wrong as they quickly lose it. 2-1 now, 3:30 remaining.
Yeah, still plenty of time, and it is a Game 1 of a best of 5. I really, with the weight between these two series, wouldn't be totally surprised if both teams are going for that little bit of shaking off. Just not necessarily, you know, rust by any means, but the adrenaline coming down, starting to relax a little bit and catch your breath. We'll ramp right back up as the series continues to go. Still at that 2-1 differential. Some team plays coming up from Team Bliss downfield. How about Will went for that fake challenge, returned. Butters will take the save off of that back wall, gets demoed. And Vortexio looking to get that pinch across. Seneless wants the touch, but too much power coming off that pass. They'll give Collateral some opportunity to begin moving downfield.
And here they are pushing onto the other side of the field. Jorik's getting one nice touch, but he had 0 boost in the tank to follow it up. And right now you can see no side really solidifying an offensive presence. Most of the time, offense has been held by Team Bliss, but Collateral really haven't given up any major looks except for the 2 goals that they've conceded. Now Jorix is following it up, trying to get it in, taken away by Bliss across the midfield. Great control on that air dribble to get over 2 players, but right now locking it down. A nice cut in the midfield, and it is here. Back on offense is Team Bliss.
And Collateral will escape a little bit. Bliss throwing some physicality out on
Oh.
the goal line. And
Oh my-
Butters with the angle. Silky smooth. Spreading the defense and finding the knife to tie us back up. 2:08 to go. And out of nowhere, you're making the point that the teams really hadn't been establishing too much pressure, maybe a little bit more of possession. And Butters just slides right in, gets the equalizer, puts us all tied up 2-2.
Like I said, they can get the comeback whenever they feel they need to. They just need to figure themselves out, figure their opponents out, and do those 2 things quick enough. And now it's an almost open background, but he just couldn't get it past the final defender.
So possession battling it out in the midfield, getting sent back towards Team Bliss half. We'll have a redirect going towards net. This one going high. Cabo trying to make a play off of the back wall, getting it down to Vortexio. No, Jorix gets the beat. Looking to get that double touch. Butters coming through as well, but won't be able to quite get the angle that he was looking for. Cabo challenged, a bit of an ego challenge, and it'll go even better for Collateral. And Butters deep on offense as well. Collateral, they're going back to that very aggressive play style. They're running that interference. They're getting these challenges deep in the blue half, even when they're not necessarily ones that would set up, say, like a favorable 50-50, but they're forcing Team Bliss to go through cars and not have clean shots at the ball.
And I love that. That's exactly what they're doing, because that's what they're strong at. Playing passive, playing slow, waiting for their opportunities. That isn't what this team does. They chase after what they need. They just get in the right position and make the right plays. You know, I say a lot that there's a fine balance between being aggressive and still being able to pump your brakes and wait for the opportunity, but that comes within a rotation. When you as a team pump your brakes and wait for an opportunity, you start looking more like Space Station or BDS. But when you as a individual player pump your brakes, you are within a positioning system, you are within a rotation, and this is something this team does very well. You get 1 or 2 players that can sit in their zone coverage, sit in their positioning, pump the brakes, wait for the ball to come to them, while the entire team as a unit looks like they're playing high octane Rocket League. And here we are, last 10 seconds. It's looking like we're going to overtime unless that goes in, and it does. Slipping underneath Butters. What a double tap. 3 seconds remaining. There is very little hope for something to go in. That was just smooth.
Has Zenilus finding the angle that I was thinking we might see in overtime here in game 1. Still time. Kickoff goal is very much a thing. We'll see how this plays out. Kicks off to the side. Will stay live. Cabo staying behind it. Jorix free flipping to try to stay underneath, but could not quite catch up to the ball. Game 1 stolen at the last second from Team Bliss. They move up in the series.
Exactly. Yes, Team Bliss did a great job right there of taking Collateral out of contention for the overtime, but still, that was a tightly contested game. And what do we know about Collateral? They get better as the series moves on. That was the best game 1 we've seen.
That's true.
Probably not a single game 1 all night that has been that tight, that high scoring, that good.
Yeah,
and
Yeah, they're continuing to fight. They're right back into game 2. And I don't even want to continue to beat the dead horse at this point. These players are so ready. I'm sure they're antsy with a bit of breaks. They've been not necessarily willing to take between this series. But game 2, it is. And it's going to start off with some Collateral offense. Civic's looking to pick it up. Cabo with the bump. Cabo Kobo. Correct me if I'm mispronouncing. My apologies, folks. But still trying to get that out of the backfield. Jorix looking for the angle. Touches it a touch wide. Cabo looking to take it through the corner. Getting a great challenge from Civic. Zenilus looking for the wall play. Jorix quick challenge. Both teams making some plays on the ball along that side wall. Not necessarily winning them, but are disrupting their opponents. And in a lot of cases, that is solid enough for some of these challenges. We stay tied in the first minute. Skelly, we're really bad at the caster curses so far in this series.
Yeah, as soon as you say we're staying tied, there is the pinch out to the midfield. Jorix was still in the air when it happened, coming off of the wall. That unfortunate ability to drive onto that corner and not quite land on your wheels quickly. And that was just a perfect accidental pass. And kudos for Team Bliss for being in position. That's the right spot to be in. And that made the play work out very well. But we definitely want to see Celestial do a little bit better of controlling their gaps, controlling the zones, better 50s, definitely. And let's see if we can get the old Collateral back into this. The same Collateral we saw versus Ground Zero, where you know what, just nothing is getting in our net and everything is going towards yours.
Well, the minute and a half into the game, Team Bliss holding on to that lead. Collateral working their way downfield. Xenulus will come through on the challenge against a Butters. A soft pop to Civic over to Jorix. Looking to try to get that pass past Cabo. Butters will come through from that far corner, looking for the soft pop towards net, following through. But Vortex will get the save for the moment. Looking for that upfield pass as well. Vortex can't make contact. Bit of a miss for Team Bliss, still holding on to the lead, but certainly a situation they would want back, especially as we're into the single elimination portion of the bracket. Cabo, dangerous rotation through the net. As Collateral, they're knocking, they're just trying to get through the door.
Oh, they are knocking indeed, and they look like they're close to breaking through. They just need one or two more quick breaks, but what they need to do also is hold the fort until that happens, and that just is not happening at the moment. Almost halftime on the clock, and we have just conceded yet another goal. Game 2 is not looking promising, but it still has enough time to make a turnaround. We just need to lock down that offense and make the shots count.
Civics was up on that save. The woodwork not as friendly as we were seeing in some of the earlier series. But that said, short memory, we're going to continue on as halftime has come and gone. The Jorix getting that pass down to Civics. Civics with that quick turn. No, Butters is going to come up over the top. Fortexio trying to cut it off as well. Butters, the one-man army onto the back wall. Cabo getting the clear. Team Bliss able to work their way back up the field, doing better on the defensive end than a few of the other teams that we've seen tonight. So they're playing rather collected. George, an excellent save to show some of the defensive chops of Collateral. Xenulus going for the pre-jump, trying to knock it out of the way. Butters still in the vicinity. He's hunting. He wants the challenge, gets it past Xenulus, but will not be able to recover in time. Vortexio setting up that transition for Team Bliss as they work their way up back into the offensive path.
Now here we go. Butters trying to get a second touch off the wall. He does just that. Xenulus sending it out towards the middle of the field. Civic shutting that transition play down, but still in the middle of the field. It goes backward, going to be cut off by Kobo. And now the shot from Civic just hardly touched away at the last moment. Couldn't be any closer. And now we again have ourselves in the midst of just this back and forth transitional play style in which Collateral just aren't able to get their cars onto the ball as quickly as we saw them versus 1620. And that's really this Collateral that we need to see on a consistent basis. That's the one that's going to make it far into RLCS. What we have here is the passive ones, the ones that are thinking a lot more than normal instead of playing the game how they know they can play it.
They are, to the credit, we're starting to incorporate more of the team plays compared to the solo mechanical plays.
Yes, I am very happy about that.
35 seconds left, and the 2-0 differential will be a bit of a hole to climb out of. Jorix going for the mind games, going for the challenge, stalls out. The Civics trying to get that pass over into a pinch, unfortunately not landing true. Team Bliss will send the ball away to burn more time off the clock. The shot will be denied. It hits the post and pops out. Maybe the crossbar and post are a little bit on our side so far in this series, but still not necessarily friendly. Time ticking away. Game 2 will go the way of Team Bliss. It is a best-of-5 series in the lower bracket, so Collateral will be looking to reverse sweep to keep this run alive. Already top 12. Let's go hunting for more.
Exactly. We've seen one reverse sweep already. Can we catch another?
Butters looking to get that. At this point, it'll just change the final reported scoreline. It'll be interesting to see how long they can keep it up. I am always impressed by how long players at this
Right.
level are able to volley the ball back and forth. Civic's going for the reset. Might have another one going on for Bliss. No, that one will be denied. The final scoreline of 2-0 to end game number 2. We'll go into game 3 down in the series. We've been in the situation before. We've come back to win. We'll have to pick up the pace quickly at the start of game 3 and punch through that defense if we're to take game 3 and start that march towards potential reverse sweep.
Yeah, it's not quite as strong as game number 1 was, but equally as important is this series. We still want to go to game 2, right? We are in the bracket, which is great. That's better than what we've had, than what we, maybe were expecting, or maybe what we were projected to accomplish, right? We were projected to just be swept completely out. But to actually come in there and make it to the bracket, okay, we're here. Now let's go further. We're capable of it. Bliss is good. But I honestly think the Collateral, at their best, is better.
I believe it too. Looking at a brief look at the stats between the games here, it really boiled down to a bit of a, not necessarily a 1v1 showdown. Cabo had 6 of the 8 shots for Bliss and both goals. And Jorix had 5 of the 6 saves for Collateral. A lot else obviously going on. I'm not saying it's a 1v1 when you have 6 players on the pitch, but ultimately the stats going those 2 ways. But stats only tell a part of the story. The actual gameplay is what matters. And with game number 3 kickoff and underway, Collateral Esports back against the wall again. They've been doubted before. They've risen to the occasion. This will be their opportunity to continue on with that trend.
Oh, here we go. Jorix trying to get something. The flip reset not working, but he can't get the bump on Kobo after trying to recover from the failed mechanic. And this is exactly the kind of presence of mind. You can see the bumps coming through. They're not necessarily demoing every time, but the little minor bumps, they're a lot easier to get, a lot less effective than removing somebody from the field, but mentally just to not be where you want to be at all times, not be able to move your car how you want to move it. And a lot of times that is much, much more frustrating than on a mental aspect than just to be deleted. To be deleted, you know what's about to happen. You know where you're about to go and how you're about to react. But to just be bumped in random, minuscule, annoying directions all the time leaves you out-positioned in the middle of nowhere, most time with a very little boost. And you have to, on the fly, think of many, many things. How do I support my team? How do I get back? How do I recover from this? And that is one thing that Collateral have just been so good at doing, just making their opponents feel that discomfort.
What we've seen a lot so far in game 3 is both teams have been taking to the air quite a bit. They've been going for these high up passes, a little bit of angle on the shot as well from Vortexios, getting the first goal on for Team Bliss. This one was a little bit lower. All 3 members of Collateral making an effort on that first shot. Vortex there for the follow-up. The opening goals of these games are getting later and later, which, again, does help our case a little bit because it gives Jorix opportunities like this to come through on the kickoff, tie us right back up. A little skiddy boop off the Butters kickoff. Jorix ties up. 3:10 on the clock, game 3. Collateral, they're not out of it yet.
Not by a long shot, Alligator. We know what this team is capable of. We've seen them pull some of the biggest. What is going on with the kickoffs of Team Bliss? I'm sorry, like, all other discussion needs cease. What is happening with Bliss's kickoffs? Oh my goodness, did they miscommunicate something? It looked like it was supposed to be a fake kickoff or some kind of Spanish, but just completely gave up the lead.
Yeah, that looks like it was a miscommunicated fake. Not 100% sure, but you know what? We're going to take it, and we're going to take the lead with 3 minutes left.
Hashtag we take those.
We take those.
Uh-oh.
An awkward situation in the corner. Jorix will come through, pick up that save, get the clear as well. Butters making an attempt. Sentineless will not let the issue die. Cabo will take a stab at it for Bliss. Looking to get that pass over, but will be denied by Jorix. The defense for Collateral is stepping up in this situation. A lot of those soft touches, those off speeds coming out from Team Bliss, all of them turned away, all of them stymied. And we're at halftime of game 3. We're holding on to that lead 2-1.
I'm very happy to see that. Game 3 right here. We need to show up right now. The reverse sweep is on, and like we've said and mentioned, I don't know if we said it to the stream, but we've definitely mentioned it to each other that Team Celestial, Collateral just seems to want to only show up when their backs are against the wall. That is when they choose that adrenaline rush. That's when they choose to play at their best. And so far, it is working for them.
Yeah, still have a bit
Oh
of a
my
crunch
God.
there. And more pressure being applied, and hey, pressure turns coal into diamonds. Collateral absolutely sparkling on the defensive end on that full race back into
I
the
like that.
defensive line. We got a little bit more than 90 seconds to go. Team Bliss trying to set up that offensive pressure. A little bit of slowdown from Cabo on the side. Butters on the challenge as well. Popped it up. Xenulus wants contact, getting it over to Vortex onto the back wall. Double touch, maybe? No. Jorix sends it out. And Civics might have an opportunity. Cabo caught awkward. He puts it up high, keeping it out of reach of the offense, almost out of reach of his teammates as well. Jorix turning it around. Team Bliss trying to cut back through. An opening for the blue trio, but will be cut out by Jorix. We still hold on to the lead, albeit not the most comfortable lead, but still holding strong on defense. One more on offense would be absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. You need the security blanket. We all know that a 1-goal lead is never secured. We've seen 0-second goals come out of Collateral. We've seen a lot of chances come in for Bliss that is just taken away by their own accuracy, and that needs to end. We need solid defense that we take away opportunities off of our skill, not the opponent's mistake, because you can never rely on opponents continuing mistakes, especially at the RLCS level. And we need those shots to go in. Jorix putting one really close. But now our offense looking a little bit more solidified. But as soon as I say that, defense is on the field.
Yeah, they'll be forced into it with the bumps. Will open it up. Xenulus finding the gap, and that's starting from the bump over on the ground. Cabo's going to drop it.
What a
Which
pass.
had Civic in position, but it got absolutely tackled by the offense. But it will tie us up. 14 seconds left. We've seen kickoff goals in favor of Collateral Esports before. We'll look to see one here again as we approach the final 10 seconds in game 3. Do or die for their run in this event. Civics puts it onto the sidewall. Xenulus wants contact. Civics has an opportunity. Slows, wants the dunk. Vortex gets the save. And Coach Scully, guess what? We're in overtime again.
Another overtime. They just love this. Collateral just loves overtimes. Jorix is taking this up in the air solo, trying to drop it down, gets 2 to bite on it. That's going to be important if they can take advantage, and so far they cannot, allowing all the time needed for Team Bliss to come back into this. A nice pass off the corner of the wall. Jorix coming down, but no boost and getting bumped. This is not a good look. A triple commit. We can lose this right here if we cannot reset the rotations. Another shot coming on target. It's bouncing in. It's bouncing out. It's bouncing all about. And they just cannot find a way to get this in the net. Team Bliss, try as they may, somehow stay denied. And oh my goodness, it continues to come in. That is it. Bliss take this in a sweep.
And utter heartbreaker in overtime, and another absolutely hard fought series. Team Bliss ultimately gaining possession of the ball and gaining that pressure throughout the entire overtime sequence between these two squads. They will move on. I do believe they play tomorrow, but that will end the run for Collateral Esports in this first event. And Scully, what a run for a team that came in through open quals. They were on the lower end of making it through, and they were predicted to get swept, to make top 12, to come up onto the stage and show what they're made of, and to put this unbelievable effort of a fight throughout the day. Utterly impressive. My hat's off to them.
Oh, absolutely. I can't speak highly enough of the performance that they gave tonight. The big key word here is consistency, and not just consistently, because you can either be consistently good or consistently bad, and we saw both from Collateral today. I hate to say it, it's crude, but it's true. We saw both. But the good that we saw was so much better than the bad was bad. The gap's not large, right? They just need to bring it up into this zone. If they can keep their range here instead of here,
they're going to be mint. They're top 8 all day. All day they're top 8. Right now, solid top 12. Solid top 12, and I am very happy with that. Top 12 in an entire region? Like, come on. That is an amazing feeling. Cherish that, because this is RLCS, and you are an amazing team doing amazing work and just had one of the best games of anybody's lives here.
Right. Again, hats off. Congratulations on the run. I know Collateral is going to be back. They're going to be here pushing for spots and pushing to climb up these rankings. I'm so excited to see how they do. But that said, with that, Scully, that is it for us tonight.
Yes, it is.
We will be wrapping up. It's been an absolute pleasure casting with you tonight. And again, huge thank you to Collateral for bringing us on. It's been an absolute blast working with all of you. I'm really excited for your future in the scene.
Absolutely. Hey, from everyone here on the production, from Collateral, thank you all for joining in. I want to say it again. This chat has been amazing. A big shout out to the Sunderlad, our producer. If you were wondering why the camera work was so cool, it's because this man is just goated on the keyboard, man. He has got the hotkeys. He's got everything down pat to get you a great view on the field. Shout out to the graphics artist creating this amazing setup for us to bring to you quality production. And from me and Alligatorsaurus, your casters for the night, thank you all for joining in, and we'll see you next time Team Collateral takes the field, hopefully.